Not many Estamoran who are permitted into our sacred city. Bethel must be feeling especially soft today. Adair pays no attention to the elf and instead has locked eyes with the Stilgar in front of him. He whispers to you. Do you think he'd mind if I pet his Stilgar? Come to hear your future at Tir Evron. His smile widens, exposing a row of yellow crooked teeth. Or to make your own at Blood Sands? What's Blood Sands? An ancient place of sacrifice, he laces his fingers together, in a cave by the great elms themselves. Reston and his druids have been an integral part of Glanfadden society for generations. No matter what some of the other tribes may say, Ere Glanfadden has held its own against the Estramoran because some of us still understand the power of sacrifice. Benevolent too, nice. He gives you an appraising eye. Does the thought make you uncomfortable? It should. It is what's kept our society alive for so long. Slimok crosses his arms over his scarred chest. Something else? You don't seem too fond of us Estramoran. His hunched shoulders straighten. So I like that I'm an elf. My main character is an elf, and I'm still being treated like some kind of outsider. Maybe it means outsider? I don't know. I just thought it meant common folk. Whatever. His hunched shoulders straighten. I fought in the Broken Stone War, and the War of Black Trees. I saw my brethren cut down defending the places of the builders, and I shed blood alongside Galvin Regd himself. He coughs. Now the Estramoran seem to think that they find a cure for their empty children among our sacred sites. Or worse, that they will find sanctuary in our lands. His gaze darkens, and I've seen what happens when they set their sights on Glanfadden soil. They're desperate. Best of them want to find a cure. The worst are looking for an excuse to plunder. Have pity, they're only trying to save their children. Isn't there room for you both? Benevolent. And when the Estramoran invade us in force and bring their plague here, what of our children? In my 250 years, I've led my people through 2 wars. Our borders have remained intact, and largely through the reputation of Three-Tusked Stelgar. His voice drops to a growl. I've sired a dozen children, but none have been deemed fit to take my place. I care nothing for the legacies that obsess the Estramoran lords, but it is important that my successor continue this path. If your children, I guess, yeah, is your role hereditary? Not entirely. We believe that the souls of our ancestors come back to us, that a strong soul may bear many more, but all souls must be tested by our elders. The Ryo looked first among my children for a successor, but their souls were weak. Ordinarily, they would turn to others in my tribe, to clan heads and their families. Ordinarily, he levels his gaze. But we share a tradition of fostering the children of other tribes, and the Onumfoth of Fisher Crane has trusted his youngest to my care. He grimaces. And as none of my own blood are fit to take my place, the Ryo will look next to this bog child, the kin of another Onumfoth and my foster daughter, to take my place. Bog child? His shoulders stiffen. I have nothing but respect for Fisher Crane, but their ways are not ours. The Orlans of Fisher Crane have lived in Thine Bog for 1,000 years. They are cunning and furtive by nature, which serves them well when they have swamplands to hide their movements. He crosses his arms. But this will not deter the Estramoran on open ground. When the republics were young, we sent explorers up through Thine Bog to find a faster way through to the dwarven kingdom of Whitemarch, DLC. Few returned. He points at the warriors gathered near the fire. Our savagery has deterred the Estremorn from further encroachment. They still tell of our deeds in the Broken Stone War. But if a child of Fisher Crane leads our tribe, we will lose that boldness, and the Estremorn will lose their fear of us. The child will be influenced by the souls of her ancestors. In times of crisis, she will look to her kin in Theinbog for guidance. No matter what I might try to teach her, it will not be enough. Rational 2. He considers you. There is a way you could help. Few have the stomach for it, but I think you have the perspective to see why uncertain pleasantness may be necessary. Raise our stoicism a bit. This Orlan girl has the soul of a leader. If it were passed on to one of my own offspring, our tribe would remain strong. A Stelgar at Simox's side stretches its massive head on the Anamfoth's leg. He remains steady on his feet. The Druids of Bloodsands have a way to do this, and they understand the importance of a strong line of succession for three-tusked Stelgar. Adair rubs the bridge of his nose. He rattles his head as if to clear cobwebs. So all we have to do is steal a baby's soul? What's the catch? He gives you a key. There's a house in southeast Hearthstone next to the river. The child will be asleep, and I've arranged for her to be unattended for a time. His voice becomes a quiet rumble. Take her and bring her to Keeper Werda in Bloodsands. She knows what must be done. When she presents you with the liquid essence, bring it back to me. What will Keeper Werda do with the child? His scarred face twists again. Have you seen the rituals of Bloodsands? She will sacrifice her. It is the only way to distill her essence. Palagina's lips curls into a sneer. How quick the old are to sacrifice the young for their purposes. The Orlan child? Go on. Oh, gosh. Benevolence clashes against rationality in a heated inner debate in my mind. Not that it's an option here, but I'm sure the ramifications are there. We could lose reputation with the one tribe, the Fishing Crane. Gained with this one. Impact-wise, I don't know. Maybe this choice will hinder our progress if we do the DLC. I think I own it. Maybe. I don't see why you need me to do this. Because I cannot do it without attracting undue attention, he frowns. I don't relish passing my own burdens to another. But this will incite war between our tribes if I am caught. What about me? Okay, big picture here, big picture. So they want to keep the outsiders away. That's such a bad thing, like separating lines and ties. If the Fishing Crane has it, their tactics would have them lose. I mean, trade would be strong, but borders should be kept strong. I mean, two peaceful nations, it wouldn't really affect anyone, right? I'm having a hard time, like... Part of me is telling me not to do it. A larger part. How can you possibly expect to get away with this? Few know the girl is here, and one Orlan babe will look much less the same as the next, he shrugs. But let me worry about this. I won't do this. I do not relish the deed, but 2 centuries of leadership have taught me all that all things bear a cost. He nods. Consider it well, Estremor. I am not above rewarding those who are of service. So it's a do it or don't. Like, just don't do the quest at all. It's not like that's the end of the quest. Tell me of the potion you need from Werda. Essence, bound and distilled into a liquid, it will have little immediate effect on me, but it will weave a stronger soul in my future issue. Where can I find this child? He's staying in the house in Harsong. Yeah, I know this. What happens if I say I should kill you? A Stelgar at his side growl. Surrounded by my best warriors? That would be unwise. So we can actually just straight up end him. But what would that do in Twin Elves? That's horrible.
Got it.
Oh? Lyris. A young man approaches you with a swift and purposeful stride. While you never met him before, he has the same stern, wild look as Symok. He doesn't speak until he's right next to you. When he does, his voice is quiet. Wait. I saw you speaking with my father. Stoic. He glances back at the room with Symok. He's asked you to sacrifice Vela, hasn't he? He grits his teeth. Maybe he's right about 3 Stelgar growing weak. But if this is the price of strength, it isn't worth it. The tribes have survived this long because we've stuck together. It's how the Republic survives during the collapse of the Grand Empire. Had any of the great cities sided with the Empire, we never would have broken away. Do you have another idea? He frowns. There's an herbalist among the Ovates of the Golden Grove. Bledha. That's her name. They all gather southeast of here by the river. She could brew a potion. Symok wouldn't know the difference until it's too late. Let me guess, if Symok dies, you're next in line. It's not like that. The Ryo have already determined that my soul isn't strong enough. Whoever follows my father, it won't be me. Why not just return this child to her birth parents? It's complicated. A child sent to be fostered by another tribe isn't allowed to return. Unfortunately, explaining that we're shielding her from my father would make matters much worse for both tribes. He tugs at a thin braid. There's an easier way to kill Symok, you know. His warriors will surround you in no time. Besides, it's simplest if this happens quietly. You want me to murder your father? No, but it's better than allowing him to murder this child. Oh, God. Either way, I just feel an overwhelming amount of negative rep. Do we kill the child and secure a line, or do we go do we kill someone else? Ah. Unity and strength.